Hi everyone. Apologies, I'm starting. As you can see, I'm vibrating. I'm on my way to the airport, trying to catch my flight. But like I promised you, for 1 o'clock, so we're shooting for 1 o'clock. So I just finished having the PTA session, at the school I came to in Lagos, talking about the burden of a taboo, the burden of a taboo. And I was just sharing in that conversation. Many of you would by now know I was born in Zaria, Kaduna State. My parents had or have 3 boys, and we have a last girl who is 18 years younger than I am, and in growing up, for all of you who know, coming from a Yoruba family, with a Yoruba mom, being a boy was not an excuse not to do house chores. Being a boy was not an excuse to clean, to wash, to do anything that was required at home. So we grew up literally knowing how to cook, how to tend, how to clean, how to wash, how to cater, and everything that was required for boys to do, for anyone to do. We didn't grow up thinking we had a sister. In fact, we didn't grow up with housemaids per se, because you had to learn to do it. Mom was a corporate worker. She worked in federal service for a while before she moved into the private sector. And being a private sector employee, it was automatic that she was going to work late hours many times. So we had the responsibility to cater for daddy when mommy was unavailable. We had the responsibility to cater for ourselves. I had the responsibility to make sure my younger ones were catered for. And even when our last baby was born, we had the responsibility, to take care of her. So I say this because we grew up with that perspective. But now look at it. We're now at a point moved to Bauchi State, and we found ourselves in an apartment where we had a neighbor. And the neighbor comes from Taraba State. She was a lawyer then. Later she moved on to be the Attorney General of Taraba State. Now, but when we were with our neighbor, we became very close, became family friends, became very close to each other. And having become very close, then it turned out that we left, and I attended ATBU, the university. So I will come home for the weekend from school. And when I come home for the weekend from school, to her house, Auntie, we call her Auntie. Auntie will cook, Auntie will tend. Auntie already was used to the fact that I'm a Yoruba boy. I would do what I was supposed to do. But Auntie now had a guest, her aunt, who came from Taraba State, who does not understand how I operate, who does not understand the cultural thing, and does not understand that Auntie understood everything. And so she calls her Auntie. So I will say Grand Auntie in this context. So Grand Auntie will cook, Grand Auntie would serve me, and Grand Auntie would allow me. She would attempt to stop me from taking my dish to the kitchen. Grand Auntie would refuse that I wash my dish. Grand Auntie would not allow me sweep, would not allow me clean, would not allow me wash, because she said in their culture it was a taboo for boys to do that. It was a taboo for boys to wash, to clean dishes, to clean the house. Your role as a man from her culture was to relax and be catered for. Your benefit as a man was to be fended for, if there's a word like that. So in a nutshell, that was how it turned out. That I realized that sometimes our ability or inability to address this issue of boy-child may be a taboo issue. Maybe subconsciously we have grown a capacity and a thought process, a belief system that says it's a taboo for boys to do things. Perhaps because I'm looking, you see, yesterday I got a call from someone, and even though I will not share the details, the bottom line behind the emphasis in his call and an email he sent to me was the fact that I have insecurity issues. My wife is bigger than I am. My wife is better than I am. My wife does better. My wife fares better. My wife is prospering. But it looks like I cannot take care of her. I cannot fend for her. I cannot provide for her. Where we have a child, I can't fend for the child. I can't rent the kind of house I want. So the wife thinks he has anger problems. He thought he had anger problems. But I told him, you don't have anger problems. What you have is fear of being an economic misfit. Is fear of being a poor man. Is fear of not being able to cater for your family. That was his problem, not anger. Anger is rooted in these insecurities and fears. And so, over time, we have grown that mentality. Our girls can go and learn how to make hair. Our girls learn fashion and clothing. Learn how to do pedicure, manicure. Learn how to make shoes. Learn how to make dresses. Learn how to even make friends. Learn how to cook. Learn how to do chores. Learn how to take care of father and mother. Learn how to take care of siblings. Even learn how to cater for tender age children. These are the things we've trained our girls to do. But our boys don't know that it's not necessarily for making money. It's for learning grit, learning perseverance, learning attitude, learning character, learning patience, learning how to make money, learning how to save, learning how to negotiate. We don't send our boys to places like this barbing salon to learn. We don't tell them to go and learn how to do, shoemaking. We don't teach them or train them how to go and learn how to sew. We just think, our boys, for what? Apprenticeship is dead. Internship is dead. Now we're focused on how to do public speaking, and we think that's enough. We just focus on how to do social media, work. That is very true. I understand. But the thing is, it goes beyond that. I recall when I was going to Form 1, my dad sent me to learn an apprentice job on how to do graphics design. Then there was no software, no CorelDRAW. I had to learn how to cut drawing. You will sketch on it, put foil paper, stick it on, cut it out. Okay. So it taught me the power of being supervised, the power of having a boss who looks at what you do, the power of being sent on tasks like find out the kind of quality of papers to buy, find out the kind of quality of colors, the ink, and all those kind of stuff. When I was done with that, I would come from secondary school, boarding house. We would go on vacation jobs like cutting grasses. We'll cut grasses. We were paid every 2 weeks. That time, the highest pay in 2 weeks was maybe 4,000, maybe 2,000, maybe sometimes it varied. But it's not even the money. We will wake up at 5 a.m., go to the farmland, cut grasses till 11 a.m., come back home, still come and do house chores. This taught us a lot of things. So today when I am all out, pushing my business, being passionate, being consistent, doing it one whole year back to back. I've been doing this since 2003. This is 14 years and running. It is not by so these attributes, character, tenacity, persistence, creative ways to come out of a rut. When we get stuck, then we'll find a way around it. We wasted a lot of papers. That was the time of SDP, NRC. We'll draw the ego of NRC. We'll draw the horse of okay. So in a nutshell, I think that we need to go back to the basics. Parents, your boy child is a child. Let's stop this. It's a girl child. Let her be more confident. Let her be more this one. I have a boy child. He will sort himself out. That's in this network. So, when you look at the rates, the increase in domestic abuse, the increase in domestic crisis, the tendency for women to be battered and beaten, it is nothing less than the fact that the men feel insecure. There's a large statement of insecurity. There's a large statement of fear. There's a large statement of economic downturn. That fear of, will I be able to cope? Will I be able to provide? Will I be able to cater for the people that I love and care about? Are we able to do that? Are we able to guarantee that promise? That's what the guys are crying out for. And hey, is it their fault? Maybe yes, maybe no, but we have a role to play. We have brought about the capacity, the incapacity. There is no capacity to deliver the goods. There's no capacity to be, in quotes, a man. There's no capacity to be secure, to drive, to push, to provide, to cater. There's no capacity to say, this is my family and I will die for my family. I will provide in any way. If I have a child, it's my responsibility to cater for the child. School fees wise, house rent, food, everything. My wife cater for her. It's not because there is no knowledge. It's not because there is no will, but there is no capacity. So we need to redefine these perspectives. From the young age, let these boys work. Let them learn to improve on themselves. Let them not sit and be playing PlayStation. Let them not sit and just be playing headphones and listening to music. Everything the girl is doing, let the boy do it. Let him cook. Let him tend the house. Let him tend the garden. Let him cook for the house. Let him clean the house. Let there be a roster. Let these boys learn from the scratch. They pick up this attitude and it becomes a lifestyle. That is my proposition. Because every time we delegate responsibilities to only our daughters, we're saying that our boys should be weak. Weak boys become weak men. Weak boys become weak men. And a weak boy is he who is left to himself. You are the king. Oh, you are my son. You are my crown prince. You are my, my next generation. You inherit my this and all those terminologies we use. We're destroying the boys. So let the boys wake up. Let them do their work. Let them grow capacity. Let them grow character. Let them grow skills. Let them use these skills. Let parents deny them a lot of, entitlements, delay gratification. Let them earn it. Let them work for it. When they grow with this character of earning and working for what they enjoy, then they can reproduce it. You cannot reproduce what you don't have the capacity to know. So, I'm going to end on the note of 2 points I shared with the parents in this school. Number one, most of us do the best with what we know. In fact, all of us. People do the best with what they know. So far, you were being a parent based on the skills and knowledge at your disposal. You were just being a parent the way you knew how to be a parent. Now you know better. Please be a better parent. Let your boys work. Let your boys grow. Don't leave it to the girl child alone. The girl child who is a teenager can cook, can cater for herself, can dress better, clean up herself, watch out for her period, clean up herself for her period, plan her cycle. The boys they have no idea. They have no idea. And then they see these girls and they become competitive. They become threatened because the girls look better put up, better shaped. The boys feel threatened because they just wonder, how do I cope with this girl? She's more intelligent, she's smarter, she's more rugged. It couldn't have been so if we have helped them from the scratch to become more productive and more assertive and do the work. So the first is, yes, so far we have done the best with what we know. Please, let's do better now that we know better. Secondly, people do bad things with a good intention. So many times when these boys misbehave out of being under pressure, is because they just intend to assert their place as men and boys. We need to redefine that all over again. Let's help them acquire skills, and capacities and competencies that can make them represent their emotions and their intuitiveness or intuition and their creative capacity and their authority. Boys and men. Men speak in terms of power, authority, respect. Let's grow capacity for these boys to understand how to express power, respect, and authority in a productive way by owning their life, by taking responsibilities that they should take part-time as they grow. This is a very important instruction. If you have a male child, please help us grow your male child.